Drinkbox Studios is known for its colourful, offbeat games, and its latest offering, Nobody Saves the World, is no different. You're probably used to choosing a character class before you start playing a game, a particular type of character with its own attacks and skill sets. What you're probably not used to is frequently switching between more than a dozen character classes as you play, making use of each individual's abilities and being able to share an impressive roster of unique skills. Enter Nobody Saves the World, a game where 1 minute you'll be playing as a mermaid, the next a slug or a magician. Yeah, really. And it's marvellous. A light RPG action-adventure, Nobody Saves the World casts you as, well, nobody. Finding yourself trapped in a dungeon as a formless humanoid, you've only got one item to your name, a magic wand. It's not just any magic wand though, it has the power to change you into another form. It's only a rat to begin with, but it's enough to get you out of the dungeon by squeezing through a hole in the wall. As you play through Nobody Saves the World, you'll unlock new forms. You won't need to use each and every one of them, but you'll need to switch frequently to make use of specific skills. The mermaid or turtle, for example, are the only characters who can swim, so you'll need to make use of them to traverse waterlogged areas of the map. You'll probably want to unlock all of them though, because every character has its own quirks and they're so fun to try. How about a bodybuilder who pummels his enemies with a barbell? Or a horse who can kick his opponents into oblivion? You'll undoubtedly have your favourites, but they're all worth a try. Unlocking new forms means working your way through a tree of sorts, levelling up earlier forms by completing a range of quests. Using certain skills and killing enemies in a particular way will earn you XP, and as you earn XP you'll level up. There's an overall level for your character, and each form has its own grade. Between quests specific to each form, and quests that can be completed no matter who you're playing as, Nobody Saves the World constantly keeps you occupied with new challenges to complete. There is a narrative to Nobody Saves the World though, which, as the title might suggest, involves saving the world. Isn't it always? You'll need to earn stars to progress, which ultimately unlock key dungeons you'll need to complete. You'll earn stars by completing the aforementioned quests, as well as completing lesser dungeons which, for the most part, you can complete in any order you'd like. The world of Nobody Saves the World is your oyster, and you can tackle it as you see fit. Of course, there are level recommendations for each area, and so it's easy to stumble into a part of the world that you're just not ready for yet. But you do level up at a steady rate, particularly if you keep switching between characters to complete their individual challenges. Things can err ever so slightly into grinding territory when it comes to unlocking some of the later character forms, but for the most part, playing Nobody Saves the World is that much fun that you really won't mind. This is a bizarre and delightful adventure from start to finish, and it kept me hooked for the entirety of its 15 or so hour runtime, and I'll certainly be jumping into New Game Plus mode before long. There's a satisfying gameplay flow with a mixture of dungeons to complete, mini side quests to find, and dozens of brilliant NPCs to engage with. Combat is at the heart of the game, which is simple but fun, and it's hugely customizable thanks to the range of forms available at your disposal. You see, each form has its own signature skill, then 3 other abilities which unlock as you level up. The fun of combat comes in mixing and matching different abilities across forms. Who says your guard can't have the zombie's ability to bring back enemies as the undead? And why shouldn't your necromancer be able to gallop through enemies unscathed, like your horse? Each ability has a particular attribute, such as being a dark or sharp attack, and since some enemies can only be hurt using the relevant type of attack, it pays to have a character form that can make use of multiple attributes. You can change forms mid-fight if you need to, but it's much more convenient to have all the attacks you need in one form. This speaks for itself via the video, but Nobody Saves the World is a beautiful looking game. Its top-down 2D cartoon aesthetic is incredibly eye-catching, and every area of its world, and indeed every character, exudes personality. It's colourful and it's playful, and that's reflected in its writing too. Practically every conversation you have with a non-playable character will bring a smile to your face. Making your way around Nobody Saves the World's map is nothing but a pure joy. This gorgeous, whimsical adventure feels more like a playful A Link to the Past at the times. That's if A Link to the Past had you changing into a slug or zombie, of course. If you're a fan of accessible action RPGs and enjoy laying waste to tons of enemies, you can't go wrong here. Once again, Drinkbox Studios has taken an oversaturated genre and turned it into something unique and delightful.